Welcome back, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to the latest episode of Rick Rodgers, Space Detective.
And we're back at you with a very exciting episode.
And who's we?
The Northeast Radio Drama Society, or N.E.R.D.S for short, because, as we always say,
everywhere is northeast of somewhere.
And on this podcast, we discover, produce, and present episodes of a radio show from the golden age of radio dramas, The Adventures of Rick Rodgers, Space Detective.
And before we get started, I wanted to publicly apologize to Eleanor.
What do you mean, Mike?
Well, after both of us were gone last episode, I was listening to it and I accused her of trying to pass off another one of her fan fiction strips as a real Rick Rodgers script, just like she did back in season 3 with that Twilight ripoff she wrote. I didn't believe her when she said she didn't write that one, and I was wrong, and I'm sorry.
Apology accepted. But I can see why you would have thought that.
Because that episode was nothing like any other script we'd ever found before?
Because it was kind of bad?
No, because it was so fun and well written, of course.
Sure.
If you say so.
Anyway, with that out of the way, we should probably get to this month's episode.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Like all episodes, it's nothing like the other ones. But this one definitely fits into that universe a little better than last month's.
Definitely. It's an old-fashioned case of mistaken identity and the hijinks that ensues.
Originally broadcast in June of 1951, this is Rick Rodgers and the case of the mistaken identity.
Here we go.
Welcome back, loyal listeners, to an all-new episode of The Adventures of Rick Rodgers, Accountant. Wait a second, that can't be right. This is The Adventures of Rick Rodgers, Space Detective, so who is this mysterious Rick Rodgers? Nobody. Well, no one is nobody, but what happens when a regular run-of-the-mill person gets caught up in the kind of danger, excitement, and drama that is usually reserved for space detectives? Find out in this week's episode of Rick Rodgers and the Case of the Mistaken Identity, after a quick word from our sponsors, that is. This year, the demi-semi-sepcentennial birthday of these grand United States has us all thinking about the past, but it should also have us thinking about the future. Here at the Cincinnati Public Transportation Department, we want to celebrate the progress we've made, like averaging under 45 muggings on our buses per month, and only 5 fatalities so far this year. But we also invite you to look forward. By this country's 200th birthday in 1976, who knows what kind of options Cincinnatians will have to get around our fair city. Raised monorails could connect the city for quick and easy transit from and to anywhere you want to go. And who knows how fast and safe our bus system will be by then. 0 fatalities? We can hope. By the country's 225th birthday in 2001, who knows how advanced things could be. Moving sidewalks, flying cars and buses, rocket shuttles to the moon, and other nearby space destinations. Pneumatic transport tubes that you just step into and step out at your desired destination. And by America's 250th in 2026, when all of us who haven't moved off-world already will surely enjoy the kind of utopian society envisioned by Asimov, Heinlein, and Clark. Everyone will simply step into a nearby public teleportation cubicle and find themselves transported to anywhere in the universe their heart could desire in a matter of moments. Through it all, the Cincinnati Public Transportation Department will be moving forward with you. Now, back to the case. It was a normal Friday on Cristeria, Earth-like moon of Caria, the 4th planet of the Lorius star system. In the accounting office of Flick and Rogers, in the coastal city of N.E.R.D., sits Ricardo Rick Rodgers. Most of us would consider Rick a totally normal and sensible young professional. But in the accounting community, Rick was considered a bit of a wild man between his interest in old-fashioned, non-hovering motorcycles and his tendency to lean into his slight resemblance to the famous Rick Rodgers when it comes to his fashion choices. It was the first warm day after the 3 Earth year equivalent Cristerian winter, and Rick was getting the urge to feel the wind in his hair and the pavement beneath his anachronistic rubber-coated wheels.
Hey, just look out the window, Amalia. Lorius is out. The dude pies are gliding from treeling to treeling. It's just too nice to stay cooped up in this office any longer.
I don't have anything else on your calendar for the day except the weekly meeting with Mr. Flick.
Oh, he canceled that last week for his daughter's thing. I'm sure we can reschedule.
I'll tell him you've got pressing business to attend to.
Don't bother, Amalia. I don't have any clients after lunch either, so this office is officially closed now. Be careful on that motorcycle of yours, Rick.
Hey, there's nothing like it, George. Hey, if you ever want to try it.
There's no safety gear in the world that could make me comfortable on one of those things, Mr. Thrill Seeker.
Suit yourself, George. Hey, you two have a lovely weekend. I'll see you on Monday.
See ya.
Bye.
Rick couldn't wait to get out on the open road, so he decided to grab a quick lunch from a convenient space dog cart before getting on the bus home.
You want hyper relish with that?
Yeah, and double mustard.
Alright, here you go.
Thanks.
No problem. See you next time. Alright, Chief, what'll ya... Oh, wow! I didn't expect you this early.
Well, I guess it's a little earlier than my usual lunchtime, but...
You don't have to worry about a thing, Mr. Rodgers. Let me grab your space dog. Just a second while I find the right one.
Great, thanks.
The space dog vendor dug down deep in his container of buns, added a space dog, and after wrapping it tightly in foil, handed it to Rick.
Here you go.
Well, what do I owe ya?
It's on the house, of course, sir.
Wow, thanks.
Rick stepped over to the condiments and started loading up his space dog with the works.
Wait. What are you doing?
Just loading up my dog. Is there something...
No. Why would there be anything wrong with that?
I like the works of my space dog.
Well, that one definitely has the works, sir.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day.
Have a better one.
Rick was a bit confused about that interaction, but by the time he arrived at the bus stop, his train of thought had been fully derailed to be replaced with excitement for his upcoming motorcycle ride. He knew it would be a few minutes before the hover bus showed up, so he was letting his mind wander to thoughts of burning hydrocarbons and spinning rubber as he took the first bite of his space dog.
You there, Rodgers.
Me?
Yes, you. Come here.
Rick was being called over to the rear passenger side window of a huge silver and white Rolls-Royce hover car that had apparently pulled up to the curb while his mind was elsewhere. As he approached, he recognized the man inside as none other than Wilburn Buchanan, the wealthiest man in this system. And incidentally, someone Rick had never met before. He struggled to chew and swallow what turned out to be much too large of a mouthful of meat-like sausage and toppings so he could respond.
How are you, Rodgers?
He says, "Look at it."
I've been better, son. Much better. We've been expecting your company for a while now, and here you are on a street corner enjoying a space dog when we have business to discuss. Business that cannot wait while you take a leisurely stroll.
Business?
You should know by now that I never play around, Rodgers.
As Rick furiously worked to clear his mouth, his teeth clicked together on something hard. He moved things around to isolate the mystery object. It seemed to be metallic and roughly the shape of a large oblong pill. He tried to move it to the side of his mouth to keep from swallowing it.
Mr. Buchanan, I think there's some kind of...
When you're talking to Wilburn Buchanan, you can stake your life on the fact that he is 100% serious. Get in the car, Rodgers.
I don't understand, Mr. Buchanan.
I insist.
Buchanan pulled his jacket lapel open to show Rick a sleek, matte black laser blaster in a shoulder holster. In his shock at the threat on display, Rick unconsciously swallowed the mysterious object, but his mind was engulfed in such extreme confusion, he didn't even register what had happened. What does this strange series of events mean for Rick? Find out after this word from our sponsors. Hip in-the-know consumers may have noticed the recent trend of dirty sodas. But what if that's not dirty enough for you? Try our new line of Zithrax Filthy Sodas. We don't just add flavored syrups and non-dairy creamer to Zithrax Filthy. Do you want cherry cheesecake Zithrax Cola? With Zithrax Filthy, we blend a whole slice of cheesecake into every bottle. In the mood for something a little more savory with Zithrax Filthy Lemon Pepper? we blend a quarter of a rotisserie chicken and fresh black pepper into our refreshing lemon lime soda. How about vanilla and hazelnut? Zithrax root beer. Zithrax Filthy blends a whole vanilla orchid and 12 hazelnuts in the shell into each serving for full flavor and texture. If dirty soda is too clean for you, it's time to get filthy with Zithrax Filthy. And now we rejoin Rick with a sinking feeling in his gut that might just be from the mysterious object he accidentally swallowed.
Hurry up now, Rodgers. Into the car. Don't make me ask again.
Buchanan began to swing the door of the ostentatious hover car open while reaching for the holster under his jacket. Rick could see no other option but to climb in when all of a sudden...
Mr. Buchanan, how are you doing today?
Patrolman Riley, how nice to see you.
I'm sorry to be a bother, Mr. Buchanan, but I'm afraid your lovely vehicle is blocking a hover bus stop. And here comes the bus now. I know you've got pressing business with Mr. Rodgers here, but I'm going to have to ask you to move that fine hovermobile.
There was a tense moment as the bus grew near and Rick stood there, entirely lost in this situation before Buchanan pulled the doors shut.
Go on, Jenkins. We'll be seeing you soon, Rodgers.
Have a wonderful day, Mr. Buchanan.
Well, I guess I should thank you, Patrolman. Was it Riley?
Dennis Riley, at your service.
Well, thank you. It's been nice meeting you, but this is my bus.
No bus for you today. Buchanan could be back any minute. I'll give you a ride home.
That's very considerate of you, but I prefer to take a bus all the same.
Not a chance, son. We're gonna get you home safe and sound, and much quicker than that old hover bus. This way, my cruiser's in the alley here.
Well, I guess quicker sounds good, if you insist, that is.
Certainly do.
Patrolman Riley guided Rick around the corner into the alley where the promised Jiff cruiser waited. But as soon as they were out of view from their street, Riley grabbed the rest of Rick's space dog out of his hand and started pulling it apart.
Where are you, you little demon? I know you're in there somewhere.
Hey, that was my lunch.
Right, and you're welcome to what's left after I get it out of here.
But there's already nothing left.
Riley picked through the wreckage of Rick's space dog until there really was nothing left before crumpling the wrapper and throwing it down the alley.
All right, Rodgers, where is it?
Where's what?
We both know the space dog cart man was supposed to put it between the sausage and the bun before he gave it to you. If he's holding out,
yeah, it was in my mouth. And when Mr. Buchanan showed me his blaster and told me to get in the car, I was so surprised that I swallowed it. It all happened so fast, I almost forgot.
That was some quick thinking, Rodgers. That way, even if Buchanan's plan was to kill you and take it off your corpse, he wouldn't have known where it was.
How? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Let's load up and get going, Rodgers.
Sure.
You know, it's a good thing I got here before Buchanan could try to talk you into telling him what happened. I hear he can be extremely persuasive.
Definitely. Thanks, Riley. I don't know what I would have done without you.
If he'd made you tell him what happened, I'm sure he wouldn't have hesitated to cut you open and fish around inside you to find it.
I'm just glad he'll never have the chance.
So we'll just get you to throw it up, and that'll be that.
Oh, wow. That might be a problem.
What do you mean? Just stick your fingers down your throat and up it comes.
Well, that's the thing, Riley. I tried that before. One time, when I was younger, I accidentally swallowed my friend's house key and...
How did that happen?
It's not important. Anyway,
It's not like that's a common thing to end up in your mouth. Besides, keys are usually on some sort of ring to make them harder to lose.
Listen, that's not the point.
I mean, I've definitely never accidentally had a loose key in my mouth and just happens to...
I saw a magician do it, so I wanted to try it, okay? He took things from the audience, swallowed them, and then brought them back up in whatever order people asked for them. But after I swallowed it, I tried everything I could think of to bring it back up, and I just couldn't make myself throw up. I had to wait until it came out the other end and dig it out of, That's
quite a story, Rodgers. I think we can still make it work, though. There's a little first aid kit under your seat.
Oh, yeah, here it is.
Yeah, grab that little brown bottle.
Syrup of Ipecac?
Yeah, one sip of that would have a billy goat puking his guts out.
Well, sounds unpleasant, but I guess I'll try it.
Not in my nice clean cruiser. Wait until you're home at your place.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely the best plan.
Rick was pretty confused about how this afternoon was going so far, and he realized as the patrolman was driving him that they were headed the wrong way to get to his own apartment. Clearly, people were mistaking him for someone else today. Maybe he really did look like the famous Dick Rodgers, space detective after all. He decided to reference his motto in times of uncertainty and self-doubt. He asked himself, what would Dick Rodgers do? And after a brief brainstorm, he had an idea.
Riley, we need to turn around.
What do you mean? I'm taking you home.
Well, that's the thing, Riley. Too many people know where I live. Until all this blows over, I'm using a safe house. You'll have to take me there. Well, I'll have you drop me off in the next block over so people don't see me being dropped off by a gift cruiser and get suspicious.
Setting up a safe house was a genius plan, Rodgers. If Kathy gets her hands on the N.E.R.D.S before the chief can talk the judge into the warrants to bring her and Buchanan in for treason against the colony, things are going to absolutely explode. This whole city is a powder keg and you've got the fuse in your guts.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll have you drop me off on the 200 block, Hodgson, between the Hollow Theater and the map room.
You've got it. Man, I haven't been to the map room in years. Does Doreen Stevens still headline the floor show?
I'm not sure. It's been a while for me, too.
I might have to stop in there after I drop you off. There are worse ways to spend a night than watching Doreen Stevens do her thing. Especially if we can't hold on to that interocitor, then this whole colony is done for.
You're right about that, Riley.
They weren't too far from the drop-off Rick specified, and Riley hightailed it there. He parked the cruiser and, true to his word, headed into the map room, while Rick headed the other direction to his own apartment building. As soon as he was sure Riley couldn't be watching him, he ran for home as fast as his legs would carry him. He didn't know what an interocitor was, but he knew he'd feel much better without something that could apparently inspire enough violence to destroy the whole city rolling around in his stomach. Once he reached the building and used his key pass to let himself in, he took the stairs up to his floor 2 at a time. But once he arrived at his front door, he paused. Was that music coming from inside? And what was that delicious smell? And wait a second.
Is my front door open a crack?
He moved very slowly up to the slight opening that he had definitely not imagined. He could picture any number of horrible scenarios that could unfold once he opened the door. But in his heart, he knew Dick Rodgers wouldn't turn tail and run if he was in Rick's shoes. Besides, whatever that was smelled incredible.
Wait a second.
A thought occurred to him before he opened the door and went forward into the unknown. He decided that if he walked through that door with a bottle of Ipecac, it would be a dead giveaway while he had it. He went back to the stairwell and put the little brown bottle in a corner where he could retrieve it later. Then he put on his best Dick Rodgers swagger, pushed his door open, and closed it behind himself. The blinds were closed, but there were dim candles lit throughout his combination living dining room. Light jazz filled the air, but behind it, he could hear what sounded like someone cooking in the kitchen. He edged over to the kitchen door and peeked through, catching a view of the most beautiful woman he'd ever seen in his kitchen, putting what looked like the finishing touches on a dish he wasn't familiar with, but couldn't wait to try. He wasn't sure what to do next, but he decided it was time to ask again. What would Dick Rodgers do? He decided to keep it simple and put on all the fake confidence he could muster.
That smells delicious. What do you call it?
Oh, I didn't hear you come in. It's called Tom Kha Kee, and it's an old family recipe.
I can't wait to try it. It smells almost as good as you look. What's your name?
I'm Lamai.
Not that I'm complaining, but how did you get in here?
Well, I've been trying to get your attention for a while now, and I ran out of ideas. So I told your landlord you'd hired me as your personal chef, but just hadn't had the chance to give me a key yet. You'll never believe how quickly he let me in.
I don't blame him. Well, Lamai, you've certainly got my attention now. What do you plan to do with it?
I plan to keep it.
She and Rick moved toward each other, like sleepwalkers, and the two of them fell into a passionate embrace.
Oh, Dick.
Hey, my name is Rick.
Oh, Rick.
And in this tender moment, there's only one thing we can say. Time for a word from our sponsor.
All right, let's try it from the top, Sam.
Okay, Mr. Edwards.
Rolling.
Hey, kid, give me your lunch money.
I don't have any lunch money. All I have are these Zithrax combination sucker treats.
Are those the candy confection with a hard candy outside and a chocolate taffy center?
Yes, they're delicious and... I'm sorry, Mr. Edwards. I just can't do it.
Here we go again.
After what happened last time when Billy...
It's okay, son. I know it's hard to come back here after what happened last time, but we're going to get through this and you'll feel much better afterwards.
It's just plain unprofessional.
Francis, why don't you take 5? Here, take a Zithrax combination sucker treat.
Wow, they really are delicious and fun.
Okay, Sam. How can I help you get through this?
I just don't know why we had to use the same studio that Billy got kidnapped to another dimension in. Look, you can still see the stain from Mr. Phillips' blood.
Okay, Sam. Just take a deep breath. You're still our star. Won't you be proud to hear yourself on one of the brand new Zithrax combination sucker treats ads once we're done?
I guess so.
And won't it be exciting knowing that commercial that you were so brave and worked so hard on is being heard and enjoyed by people all over the country? Heck, I heard Zithrax is going to run this one in Canada too.
Whoa. Well, yeah, that is cool.
Hey, I believe in you, Sam. Here, take this Zithrax combination sucker treat and take a little break.
Wow, thanks.
We'll get a rug put down over that stain on the floor. And when you're ready, we'll come back and you're gonna knock this thing out of the park, okay?
Okay, Mr. Edwards.
All right, I'll see you in a bit.
Okay. Oh boy, I sure do love these Zithrax combination sucker treats.
Hey, Tom, I don't know if this is gonna work. Do we have a backup kid?
I'll check.
If you're in the mood for something sweet, try Zithrax combination sucker treat.
We rejoin Rick and Lemai sometime later as they enjoy the fruits of Lemai's efforts at Rick's dining table.
Hey, you know I'm not Dick Rodgers, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure that Dick Rodgers, the space detective's full first name is Richard, so he goes by Dick. My full first name is Ricardo, so I've always gone by Rick. Also, my last name is Rodgers with a D, so even though our names sound pretty similar...
I know you're not him. I guess I just misread your first name on your office sign.
Oh.
Do you have to hurry back to work, or...?
It's too nice a day to be cooped up in that office, and we didn't have any clients scheduled, so we closed the office early today. I was planning on taking my motorcycle out for a ride, but as soon as I left the office, it was one strange thing after another, and then I had this pleasant surprise waiting for me when I got home.
What kind of strange things?
Well, I stopped for a space dog for lunch, and the guy who runs a space dog cart was acting like he was surprised to see me. But on the upside, he gave me the space dog for free.
So you didn't really even need this lunch?
Well, I only got to take one bite of the space dog because as I was waiting for the hover bus, Wilburn Buchanan pulled up in his huge, fancy hover car and acted like he and I had business.
Wilburn Buchanan?
Well, yeah, I'd never met him before, but he sure acted like he knew me. And then he threatened me with a blaster to get into the car. But just then, a Jiff patrolman who must have dealt with Buchanan before came up and told him he'd have to move his car because it was blocking the hover bus stop. And I couldn't quite believe it, but Buchanan just left after that. Now, I was ready to just act like that never happened and get on the bus home, but the patrolman wouldn't hear of it. He insisted on giving me a ride home. But as soon as we got to his car, he grabbed my space dog and started pulling it apart, looking for... Well, I keep forgetting.
Forgetting what?
The one bite I got to take had something in it, and when Buchanan threatened me, I was so surprised that I swallowed it.
What was it?
The patrolman called it an interocitor.
What's that?
I have no idea, but apparently that's what Buchanan wanted from me. The patrolman said that if Buchanan or someone named Kathy got their hands on it, the whole city would explode.
Like, really explode? Or metaphorically?
Well, since it's in my stomach, I hope not really explode, but I don't know. Anyway, the patrolman gave me this bottle of stuff to make me throw it back up, but when I got back here, I got distracted.
So it's still in your stomach?
And I'm definitely not going to throw it up now. I'm not giving up that amazing meal you cooked for me.
It sounds like you stepped into some sort of hollow flick.
Yeah, and it feels like you're part of the fantasy. Hey, you're not secretly part of this, right? You're not secretly Kathy trying to get the interocitor?
No, it's just a coincidence that this is all happening on the same day.
You promise?
Cross my heart and hope to die.
Okay.
So, you're just going to wait for it to pass? What are you going to do with it after,
I have to think about it. Hey, do you want to come for a ride? If we leave now, we should be able to watch the sunset over the ocean.
Oh, sounds beautiful.
The two of them rode the elevator down to the basement garage, and soon they were on their way out of the city toward the coast. Rick found riding the motorcycle always helped clear his mind, even if today part of it was occupied with the gorgeous woman holding on behind him. He was pretty sure this wouldn't all blow over. Once the interocitor passed, he would have to figure out what to do with it. It sounded like he didn't want to be responsible for whatever would happen if Kathy or Buchanan got their hands on it. He wasn't cut out for a life of intrigue and mystery. He was definitely no Rick Rodgers. He tried not to worry about it too much and just focus on the speed and the view. After about a 20-minute ride along the coast, Lemay spotted a sign for a scenic overlook and tapped Rick on the shoulder to bring it to his attention. He pulled the bike off the highway into a small parking area. It was appropriately picturesque. The whole area was surrounded by a field of wildflowers, and at the overlook there was a small stand where a Silurian hyper beekeeper sold hyper honey, and almost a dozen nearly 7-foot-tall hyper beehives dotted the area. Rick and Lemay got off the bike, and after taking a moment to peruse the wares available at the stand, they settled on a bench to watch the sunset.
If you do want anything, just let me know. We'll be closing up in a few minutes.
Will do.
I've lived in N.E.R.D. my whole life, and I can't believe I never knew about this place. It's incredible. The wildflowers, the view. Thank you for bringing me here. It's so beautiful.
Not as beautiful as you. To be honest, I've seen the sign before, but this is the first time I've stopped.
Well, if I've got anything to say about it, it won't be the last time. And the hyper bees buzzing around. It's like a dream.
I was scared of hyper bees when I was a kid. Something about a 2-inch long, furry, flying needle.
I know they've got that big stinger, but they're sweethearts. As far as I know, there's no documented cases of them stinging a human.
What's that noise? That's no hyper bee.
And the wind.
A sudden gale-force wind had sprung up, whipping the flowers around as the buzzing rose to a deafening roar. Suddenly, a jet copter rose above the rocks at the edge of the scenic vista and started to come in for a landing in the parking area.
What do we do?
I don't know what we can do. We can't get out of here without getting past it to get to the motorcycle.
So, I guess we just wait and see?
After the jet copter touched down, the cockpit slid open and out climbed none other than Rick Rodgers, space detective. He struggled a little bit descending from the flying machine, but soon Rick and Lemay were face to face with the most famous space detective in the universe.
Rick Rodgers?
The very same. And you must be Rick Rodgers.
Yes.
They told me there was a resemblance between the two of us. I guess I can see it.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And you are?
Oh, my name's Lemay.
Well, it's nice to meet you both. Listen, Rick, I'm sorry you got caught up in all of this, but you'll both have to come back with me to the GIF station, and we can take it from here.
That sounds great, actually.
Wait, how did you find us?
The interocitor emits a signal that you can track if you've got the right gear.
Dick showed the pair a small handheld device with a screen that displays a map of the area with a pinpoint showing their current location.
But that means if you can track...
Buchanan and Kathy probably can too. That's why we have to get out of here, now.
It's too late for that.
The beekeeper who had been running the stand was suddenly at Rick's elbow after throwing off her beekeeping clothes to reveal an expensive-looking suit and a blaster pistol.
Kathy?
Surprised?
No, I was expecting you. Definitely.
This is Kathy?
Yes, she organizes Buchanan's off-the-books interests.
Nice suit.
Thanks. Now you can just get back in the jetcopter, Dick. Your doppelganger is coming with me.
Not a chance.
Oh, Dick, you have no choice in the matter.
Suddenly, 6 of the hyper beehives burst open and out popped 6 heavily armed goons. They were surrounded.
Come on, Rick. I promise we'll let you go once you've passed the interocitor.
No!
I'm surprised you're willing to wait for nature to take its course instead of just cutting it out of him.
That's not a bad idea. Willis, do you have your knife?
I always have my knife.
Be dear, and relieve our new friend here of the interocitor.
Gladly.
No, I'll come with you. Just don't.
Hold it right there.
Dick had drawn his trademark jet black Magnum power blaster and was brandishing it to ward off the approaching Willis, who was likewise brandishing a knife big enough that it looked more like a small sword.
Listen, it would be a shame for anyone to die here. Let's all just try to work this out logically. I cannot let you leave here with the interocitor.
And I can't let you leave here with the interocitor.
How about me? Can I leave here with the interocitor?
No. Well, it looks like we're at a bit of an impasse.
Impasse schmimpasse. Get them!
Suddenly, the air was teeming with blaster fire. Dick fired at Willis and happened to blast the huge knife out of his grasp.
My knife!
The disarmed thug lunged at them all the same, but Rick and Lamai were able to avoid his grasp, and Dick dragged them and himself behind the bulk of the jet copter, where they had at least some cover from the blaster fire. Kathy and her goons were unleashing in their direction.
You two stay back there. I'll hold them off. Reinforcements should be here soon.
Lamai, you promised me you weren't working with Buchanan or Kathy. You said, cross your heart, hope to die. Well, we just might die here. Tell me, why did you want to pull off here where Kathy just happened to be lying in wait?
You'll have to try harder than that to get the drop on me.
Oh, darn. I'll just have to keep trying then.
I promise you, Rick, I had no idea. I've never met this Kathy or Buchanan before. Hell, I've never even heard of an interocitor before today. I'm just a woman who works at the office across from yours, who has a crush on you. I couldn't manage to meet you organically, so I admittedly took an extreme approach, but I promise you I have nothing to do with any of this.
Well, I don't know why, but I believe you. I feel like I shouldn't, but I trust you just the same.
They all heard the sound of a fast-approaching hover vehicle coming from the highway.
That'll be our backup now.
Don't count on it, Rodgers. Ha ha ha!
They turned to see none other than Wilburn Buchanan's hover rolls gliding into the parking area. There was a moment of confusion as Dick turned to fire on the ostentatious vehicle, and Kathy and the boys decided that this was their chance.
Come on, quick!
Okay.
In the confusion, Rick grabbed Lamai, and the two of them jumped onto his motorcycle. He fired it up, and the bike roared to life and out toward the highway.
After them!
Rick, what the hell are you doing?
There was only room in the hover car for Kathy and Willis, so as they loaded up and sped off after Rick and Lamai, Dick had to keep firing at the other goons to hold them off as he scrambled into the jet copter to give chase himself. Rick had the throttle as high as the gentle curves of the road would allow, but the rolls would have certainly caught up to him if it hadn't been for Dick and the jet copter giving chase. He used the huge blasters on board to blow a crater in the pavement too wide for the rolls to vault. But Buchanan's driver went for it anyway. For a split second, it looked like they had enough momentum to clear the disturbance on the road, but a chunk of concrete stuck up well beyond the former surface, which snagged the front bumper and sent the hover car cartwheeling down the slope toward the ocean. Dick didn't have things all his own way, though, as a piece of bodywork tore free from the car and got sucked into the air intake of one of the jets lifting his copter. He was able to make an emergency landing, but he wouldn't be able to continue his pursuit of Rick and Lamai either. Rick and Lamai, on the other hand, had no idea where all the noise and commotion in their wake had come from. Rick kept his eyes on the road and got as much distance from the situation as he could as quickly as possible. About an hour later, it had gotten quite dark, and they were pulling into a small seaside town called Watford. Rick noticed his gas gauge was getting low, so when he saw a fuel station, he pulled off and up to the pumps.
I haven't seen an honest-to-God motorcycle in years. What'll it be?
Fill her up, gasoline, please.
No problem.
Rick and Lamai got off the bike and left the station attendant to it.
It's such a nice night for a ride, but it will be nice to stretch my legs.
Definitely. Hey, but we can't stay too long. I'm sure they're still after us. We just don't know how close.
We won't be able to outrun them forever.
Oh, I don't think we'll have to outrun them for much longer. Oh, excuse me, I need to use the bathroom.
Dick followed the sign around to the back of the station to the unfortunately locked bathroom. He went back to the pumps to the attendant, who looked to be finishing up.
Hey, can I get the key to the bathroom?
Oh, sure. Here you go. You can settle up when you're done.
Thanks.
Rick headed back around and relieved himself. He was curious, so instead of flushing right away, he stood and peered into the bowl. There, among the waste, was an oblong metallic object about the size of a large pill. Rick hesitated. Should he retrieve it? Clean it off? Then who would he take it to? The GIF? Buchanan? He could have died today. He needed a minute. He washed his hands and headed back around to the front where Lamai was waiting.
That'll be $3.
Here you go. Keep the change.
Thanks.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
I passed it. The inserositor. And I don't know what to do. I mean, should I clean it off and then what? Do I just...
Shh. Rick, just give me the key.
Oh, okay.
Lamai went around the building.
They can sort it out from here. We're officially out of it.
I can't... thank you, Lamai.
What are we waiting for? Let's ride, Rick.
Let's keep going up the coast. I know a little motel about another 15 miles on. We can stay there tonight. Tomorrow, we can ride up to Zinn. Unless you've got somewhere to be this weekend.
I don't need to be anywhere but with you.
That's what I was hoping you would say.
And as one of the most amazing accountants on this entire planet, I was hoping maybe you could take a look at some of my files.
Hey, my key. Hey, come back. There's only one key and I gotta... Well, I guess I'd better call the locksmith.
And that's all for Rick Rodgers in the case of the mistaken identity. Next week, our focus will shift back to our customary hero, Dick Rodgers, Space Detective. So make sure you join us. Same space time, same space station.
Now that's what I call a good old-fashioned Dick Rodgers space mystery.
Even if Dick was barely involved.
Especially since Dick was barely involved.
What do you mean?
I don't know, I just thought it sounded good.
It does make you wonder if there was another episode where they covered this case from Dick's perspective.
Maybe we would have actually found out what an interocitor was.
Or what kind of interocitor would be small enough for someone to swallow it?
What do you...
Don't ask. He'll just launch off on a diatribe about how they named the McGiffin in the script after something from some old sci-fi movie, and only real nerds like him would get the reference.
Well, the plot device is called a McGuffin, not a McGiffin, but other than that, you're pretty much spot on.
I knew it. Spare me the details and just hit him with the handles, Mike.
We're on Facebook at Dick Rodgers Pod, on Instagram at Dick Rodgers Space Detective, and you can join the nerds on Patreon at patreon.com/space_detective.
And make sure to join us for your next Dick appointment. Same space time, same space station.
Goodbye, everybody.
This episode's nerds are Angela Ventris as Eleanor, Amalia, Customer, Kid 1, and Lamai. Maverick Lee as Glenn and narrator. Andy Herman as Charlotte, Flick, Space Dog Cart Guy, Tom, and Kathy. Michael Storm as Mike Nutley and Rick Rodgers. Logan Wright as Buchanan, producer, and Dick Rodgers. And Nicholas Johnson as Patrolman, Francis, Willis, and attendant. Rick Rodgers in the case of the mistaken identity was written by Nicholas Johnson, with music by Nicholas Johnson, sound design by Michael Storm, and audio editing by Nicholas Johnson.